month of Elul just started, and it's time to do Teshuvah. So although we have to do Teshuvah every day, right now it's a special time where, as it says in the holy books, that God is watching closer to our everyday life, and He's looking to see what we really want, what we really desire. It's not a coincidence that in the Shmon Esrei, the 18 blessings standing prayer that we say every day, 3 times a day, we say, Baruch Atah Hashem harotze b'teshuvah. Blessed are you Hashem who desires teshuvah. It doesn't say in any other blessings, harotze, that he desires teshuvah. So teshuvah has to be connected to desire. It's not like I'm just repenting, so I just, fix my ways. It's what teshuvah starts with what you really want. And you have to show God that what's really inside of you, what you really desire. What bothers you? What bothers you the most during Elul? Does it bother you that you're not close to God? Does it bother you that you don't feel spiritual? Does it bother you that you don't feel connected to prayer? Does it bother you that you don't enjoy learning Torah? Or does it bother you that you're so disconnected or not a better person? So those are the things that really matters. Hashem wants you what's your desire. That's the first step. First step is what's your true desire. Are you going to show God that you really desire Him? So what are you going to do? Some start slichot during the month of Elul, which is mostly the Sfardim, who wake up every morning and pray. So it shows already a desire, breaking one's sleep and waking up earlier and then praying and bringing one's heart into prayer. That's just an example that is already set in place, but you can put your own things that shows your desire. So I have a suggestion on what you can do in order to show God that you really desire Him. And this suggestion obviously is not from me, it's from Chazal, from the Shmon Esrei. It says 3 things that Hashem wants in the blessing of Teshuvah. It says, Hashivenu avinu letoratecha. Bring us back, God, towards your Torah. Vikarvenu malkenu lavodesecha. And bring us closer, our King, to your avodah, which really correspond to prayer, essentially. And number 3, v'achazirenu b'teshuvah shelema lefanecha. And then help us attach ourselves completely to a teshuvah that is shalem, that is shlemus, which is really connected to our shlemut alev, the shlemut of the man, which is our character traits, and that should bring us in front of him. So we see there's 3 steps, and those 3 things actually hinted, or is a reference to Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Father, where in the first chapter, I believe the second Mishnah or third Mishnah, I don't remember exactly, but we say Ashlosha Dvarim Haolam Omed. That's the first Mishnah. The Ashlosha Dvarim Omed, Ala Torah, Ve'al Avodah, Ve'agmilut Chasadim. On 3 things the world stands. Now we know man is called a world, Olam Katan, a small world. So for us to be able to stand in front of Hashem, or Omed is Amidah, is standing in front of God. How are we going to be able to stand in front of God? Through those 3 things: Torah, prayer, and working on character traits. Those are the things that it's like a table. We have a table with 3 legs. If you're missing 1 leg, it's going to fall. So you need those 3 things. They're all 3 essential. You cannot have just 2 of them. You need to harmonize your life so that your Torah, your prayer, and your character traits are constantly worked on. But now in Elul, even more, that's why you show an increase of desire. And the goal of those 3 things, you have to learn and pray and work on your character traits in a way that reflects Ani ledodi vedodili. I am for God and God is for me. God is my beloved and I am to my beloved. And you have to learn Torah that leads you to feel that, pray in a way that leads you to feel that, and work with character traits that leads you to feel that. You do it for that purpose, out of love. So find one thing you want to learn, something that you decide to learn every day of Elul, even if it's 5 minutes, if it's 3 minutes, something that when you learn it, you feel, you learn it to be close to God, and you learn it in a way that brings you more love to God, that helps you return to God. So learn something. It can be Musar. I really recommend Tomer Dvorah, but it can be Gemara, it can be Mishnah, whatever it is, and you do it because you love God. Number 2, prayer. Find a book on prayer for example, and learn every day 2-3 lines about the meaning of prayer, or pray a little bit longer. Choose one part of davening, like Shema Israel, and say the first paragraph, Ve'afta et Hashem Elokecha, trying to feel it, feel the words, or read it in English. One of the worst things is to pray without knowing what you say. Pray in English, and say the words with meaning. And number 3 is shlemut, the character traits. Find one character trait to work on, and put stickers everywhere to remember, or on your phone or whatever, and that every day you work on that specific character trait. I usually recommend always one of the 4 roots of all character traits, because you want to go to the root. That's according to the Arizal. So the 4 roots are anger or ego, arrogance, and you fight it with humility. Then there is speech, unnecessary speech. So you fight it with silence, being as silent as possible. In order to not speak slander, lashon hara, rechilut, lying, all that. Number 3 is work on your desire for pleasures. Controlling yourself is basically how you fight it. And number 4 is sadness and depression, sadness. And you fight it by learning how to be happy and doing things that keeps you happy. So those are the examples that I give, but you can choose whatever you want. And the last thing I encourage everyone to do in order to get ready is to make a gratitude list, a hakarat hatov list of all the good things you have done during this year, all the good things you received as a gift from God during this year, this past year, since last Rosh Hashanah, all the things that God gave you that were out of the ordinary, meaning that yes, God gives us everything, food, shelter, health, whatever it is, but there are things that God gives us extra. You were able to have a new car, you were able to have whatever, to go on a trip somewhere. So anything or something amazing that you learned that will change your life, all those things, you have to look at it as gifts from God, and you want to write it down to be aware of all the things that how much God loves you in your everyday life. We forget throughout the year everything that Hashem has done, and so Hashem saved you from a car accident, stuff like that, all types of stuff. And you make a list and you look at it during Elul and you see, wow, Hashem really loves me. Look at all the gifts He gives me on top of everything He already gives me. He gives me special, extra, big gifts. Look how much He loves me. I want to love Him back and thank Him for Him. Thank Him for it. And then number 2 is to make a list of all the achievement you have done, all the accomplishment. Make a list of everything that you accomplished this year. You became better at a certain character trait. You learned more. You prayed better. You opened a new business. You helped certain people change their life. all those things, and that's also in a way gifts that you were able to have and achieve, and you come in front of God and you realize, you show Him, look, everything I've accomplished, and I want to accomplish more the next year, and you show God that you're growing and you're changing, and you look at yourself also of everything that's so much good. We so focus on the bad. You have to be careful in Elul not to get sad of all the mistakes you have done. Yes, you did a lot of mistakes and you have to fix them, but the more you focus on the good and everything good you have to do, the more we can change in the positive and not be busy with the negative. Let us remember that Teshuvah starts with joy, because the mitzvah, a mitzvah is Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha, right? A mitzvah has to start with joy. You don't do a mitzvah out of sadness. You're not allowed. A mitzvah has to be done with joy, and especially the mitzvah of Teshuvah, which is to return, is done out of joy. We're not yet in the, even though regret and slichot and asking for forgiveness has a part of sadness in it, a regret for what we have, the opportunity we missed. That's only a second stage and a small stage. Rosh Hashanah, there's no video on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is a very happy time. New Year is full of all potential. Only after Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, that's where we'd say vidui. We have a room for regret and a little bit of sadness, a sadness that helps us be more positive and change. So my friends, I hope you note all that and you're going to do the homework. And remember, I know for myself, and speaking to myself, if you don't write it down and you don't do it down, you just do it in your head, it's not real, you're not really doing it. Unless you're like super connected to your head all the time, but that's, most people are not like that. That's why we don't wear tefillin all day long. So try to sit down, take the time, cheshbon hanefesh, introspection, take a paper, a pen for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and write down all the things that I mentioned, what you want to change, what you want to grow, all the things you have achieved, all the gifts you got this year, and I can promise you, you're going to have an amazing Elul, and you're going to be ready for Rosh Hashanah like never before. And each time you say Shmoneh Esrei, the 18 blessings, remember all what I say today in that blessing. Focus on that blessing specifically. Hashivenu avinu l'sorasecha, right? Mekarvenu malkeinu lavosecha v'achezim b'shuva shel malefanecha. Analyze that blessing. Understand it's all about ratzon, rotze, harotze b'shuva, and look that there's 3 parts in that prayer. Look at the fact that it says first avinu for Torah, it says malkeinu for prayer, and it says lefanecha for shlemus. So try to ask yourself why those 3 different levels, 3 different stages, 3 different levels, and find your own answers about what it means, and you're gonna have an amazing teshuvah, amazing davening. Have an amazing month of Elul. I'll see you all at the King's coronation for the new year in about 29 days. Very exciting.